Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camppatton Family Compound. It is time for Friday night on the Homestead, and tonight's topic is do-it-yourself solutions for daily problems. And how's everybody doing out there? Jump over here to the comments so I can make sure I catch everyone. Nope, some more people made it in. All right, so first one in. Wow. Keeping my lights on, I'm getting a little bit of artifacting over here on the screen. All right, so first one in was Phelan Clan Wolf, then Walt Rogers, then Chef Tech, Mark. CR was next, Mother Earth Garden Club. Oh, and Walt's been a member for 20 months of the Staff Sergeant's group, and he's heading down to the barn. All right, let's see here. Diana 2's in here now. Shawnee's here. Kaylin Strain is here. How hot is it in the room today? It is 80 degrees in here right now. So, hey, when I grew up, we didn't have AC. And so it's, it's one of those things that just go by. All righty. Oh, almost forgot. Drop this down here in case CR or Mark or anybody else that's in here right now wants to come up here and help talk about it. And let me pin it so it doesn't disappear. All right, come on. I hate it when other messages pop over when I'm trying to pin a message there. I can't get to it. And Ryan the Gamer just came in here. 75 degrees up where CR is. Alrighty. So this was suggested by one of the channel members, and the channel members gave us a bunch of ideas of possible things. And of course, in the last couple of weeks, with all the looking up information and stuff, just for cool things I've been finding, I can find out on the reels, is there's a bunch of hacks that are being shown during some of the things, a bunch of different cool things you can do and stuff. And I got a couple of those to share with you as well. But and yeah, here he is. Hey, Mark.
And, hey, maybe my power won't go out tonight like last night.
Yeah. So I figured I'd get some nice, stuff here. And I think I clicked on the secondary wrong one. Yeah, hang on a second. I want to change something here on the background here. And see if I can find the other one here. So I got, I think I duplicated there. So I got that one there. There we go. It'll change here in a second. It's trying to load up. There we go. Got a little workbench there. Bunch of plugs down right over here in the wall, which is always good to have. You can do your DIY stuff. All right, so let's talk about some of the stuff here. Projects around the house. You don't have to hire someone else to do it. There's a lot of things you can do yourselves. And all right, just one of the things they sent into it. So I just took a snapshot from the email of suggestions. You have 20 mule Team Borax and Arm & Hammer washing soda to treat moldy fabrics and furnishings after a water leak. They said it didn't have the precise formula for it. It really works when you need to salvage things you can't afford to replace, such as couches and stuff like that. The guy she had dropped the link in for one, but there are plenty of them. Just start looking up stuff on YouTube here. You'll find plenty of videos on how to do stuff with 20 mule Team Borax and Arm & Hammer washing soda. There are a bunch of videos on it. So, anyways, that's one of the things you mentioned on that. Let's see. Use some cheap brand of vanilla to deodorize the refrigerator. However, on this one here today, I found several videos where people were using and I froze some vanilla and a pinch of cinnamon, shaking it up, let it sit for a while, shaking it up, and then using it as an insect repellent. I mean, and the one girl was just going absolutely gaga over it. She goes, I was ready to chew everybody out, blah, 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 blah. And it works. She's in Florida, and she says she'll get hit by mosquitoes and no one else will. So, but it worked. So there are a bunch of different ones, different things you can do. She said there's a website here that called Make Your Own Zone. Vanilla air fresheners. I've made air fresheners around here that use peppermint oil or essential oils, peppermint oil and lemongrass oil. It smells pretty good. And so there's some of those, and there's the other hack you would mention is that fasteners aren't super tight. And if you don't have the right size, the hex bit, but you have Torx bits, sometimes you get a Torx bit to fit in there. I've done that a few times myself, but you can't do it in really tight, a tight situation where it's, when I say tight, it's going into a board that's already tight and needs to go in tighter. But those are just some of the, I know what the next one is. The next one I spotted this morning on one of the fake book reels, and I was going to pull it up here, but I don't want to get dinged on it, but I will drop the link for that one here. The guys actually did it. Old lawnmower to concrete scrubber. They took an old gasoline powered push mower, and the most of the lawnmowers for the last 15 years have had a garden hose attachment on the top of the housing. So you put a garden hose on there, you start it up, and you turn the water on, and it power washes the inside of it. Well, what this guy did, he took an old lawnmower, got it running and stuff. On the blade, he took the lawnmower blade off, drilled holes in it, got some scrub brushes, and screwed the scrub brushes on it. And so they would just be bare, and then adjusted it so that it's just barely touching the concrete, turned the water on, fired it up, and just scrubbed the driveway. Got all the buildup moss and everything else off of it.
At those RPMs, you better have some good hardware and a good brush, because that thing will throw off and catch you in the ankles, and you'll be looking for other DIY things for stitches and attachments of limbs. But
yeah, I mean, the guy put 12 screws in each brush. So he had two brushes underneath it. When I say brushes, I mean almost like the old contractors push brooms, but they're now shorter. When I was working them, they used to be 6-8 inches tall. These were about 4 inches. So, he was there. He showed it, fired it up, did it, and nothing came flying up. But he also wasn't revving it out of the this world either. It had one of the throttle controls, so you had it turned down a bit. This next one here showing, they mentioned that there was a mesh designed to go on a pool water filter pumps or large aquarium pumps. It's much less expensive than the mesh things you get for downspouts to keep the leaves and debris out of your rain catchment systems. There are a bunch of different things you can use for that, and you can even use Tule, Tule. I got some for the garden to keep the bugs out of some of the things. If I needed to. Fortunately, I haven't had any of the bugs here because I had a lot of beneficial bugs. But you can make a little a sifter tray with that on it, so the leaves and stuff comes off and the water goes right on through into your catchment systems. So those are just a couple of things that were suggested and I spotted. But there are some really cool ones out there for there was one reel I saw for all these different things for making gate latches, homemade gate latches. And the cool one was taking like a piece of a 1/4-inch rod you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's, and they bent it around so that it had been around where a screw would go into the gate, and it'd go up, make a U shape on it, so it'd be sticking out just past rows. And then it come back and had it on the other side, and then had it came up where you had a handle, you push down on it, and you just put your hand down and lift the other side up. Well, when you go bring it closed, they had a piece of block that had been tapered and then cut off on the back, so it rode up the taper and dropped in behind the back to lock the gate. So that was a real cool DIY project there too. And I have okay, let me see if we get back up here. Okay, Marshmallow Man has gifted 10 memberships, and I gotta scroll back up here on the other side so I can catch that. Okay, let's see. Moon Berserker got one. Someone used the cryptic stuff on it, so I can't really read it here. Something or other designs. Built on the Rock Homestead, Sandy P, Royals of Round Table, Breaking Newscast, DeWalter, Delightful Crafter, Purge, Trixie, and an Asian or either Japanese, Chinese, or something, writing on it. So it just has the 3 characters. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so let's go down. So Kaylin says she loves the smell of lemongrass essential oils. Yeah. My wife actually did something with that as well, using the orange oil. Drove the cats nuts. His cats don't like the scent of the orange oil, so she put it around the artificial Christmas tree to keep them from climbing it. Let's see. And CR said he made a citrus one. Mother Earth Garden Club, 3/4 cup mule time, 20 mule team borax, 1/3 cup Arm and Hammer, 1 grated ivory bar soap. Melt the grated soap and water around here. Okay, all right, cool. So there's the one. There's a recipe for the for clean. Oh, I also saw another neat hack too today. Guy was saying you take shaving cream. You have a dirt stain or whatever on a mattress, whatever, and you also says you can do it on like couch, the couches and stuff like that. You spray it on there, and you get one of those nail brushes, and you scrub it in, and goes away. So, yeah, hand tools. Yes, hand tools. You're going to be a DIYer. You're going to need hand tools that are both powered and non-powered. And the powered can be plug-in or battery. So those are some of the cool things to do. Okay, I'm going to show a reel. I don't care if I get in trouble for it. I got to find it here. Let me, because guys, you're going to love it. If anybody does DIY, and even if you're doing crafting like other stuff, you're going to love this thing. How's that? Let me go ahead and drop that down. I need to put white page over here. I need to bring this up here. Where is it? Okay, where did I put it? Because I know I saved it specifically for, because I got to build this. I have got to build this for. Actually, I probably got to build 2 of them. One for me and one for the staff sergeant. Okay, that was that one. There it is. Okay, got to do this right. Copy that. Put that there. Sure. Let it go around. Okay. All right, guys. So let me get this up here. Check this out. Mark, you're going to love this.
What am I making next?
Jeremy's going to love this too. A bunch of you are going to love this one. All right. Let me get this down. Watch his work table. On wheels. He has multiple tables. They're all the same height. He's got all tools underneath it. He's got one of the things that flips had a router on it. You showed the router when he's pushing it in. So yeah, that's something.
Yep.
Yeah. Because my wife actually, she wanted stuff, and I bought her a band saw, a scroll saw, a disc sander with a belt sander unit together, routers, and a bunch of other stuff. And she was making all sorts of wood craft stuff. And when she gets up here, I know what we're going to wind up making. We're going to be making a bunch more of the Brio type wooden train track. Because the grandkids love it, and they'll be loving it till they're in their teens. I know because my nephews did the same daggone thing. They loved that stuff until they were in their teens or 20s. And of course, once the one started having kids, he started playing it with his own kids. So he still kept playing with it.
Wooden train tracks?
Yes, the
outside.
No, this is the inside ones you put around you can put inside. It's the Brio size for Thomas the Tank Engine and some of the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've got the magnetic things on it, but we made like 3 foot long sections so they can make the big bridges and stuff. And they started making some monster things in here in the living room. All right, Moon Berserker, yes, hello. So Moon Berserker, you can see that you now have a little thing next to your name there. You were gifted a membership by it's the Marshmallow Man. And so I'm just going back, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, all right. Yeah, there are a whole bunch of Tammy Share, Rebel Canners, and there are a bunch of different things on it. I was just seeing some of the other ones which would pop up here really quick, but they didn't. There are there are some really cool DIY projects. Some of you guys are going to go, "Oh no, not me!" But anyone that watches Garden State Gardener on his Sunday Fun Day giveaways and stuff, there are a lot of crocheters in there. My grandmother taught me how to crochet when I was a little kid, and I promptly forgot how to do it. My wife knows how to crochet. My daughter knows how to crochet. My wife knows how to knit. So they're once my wife is up here, they say they're going to teach me how to crochet.
But, I learned all that stuff too when I was little. The only thing I remember how to do is I can run a sewing machine like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, I have my mom's Niche sewing machine. Big cabinet, top folds open, sewing machine lifts up, locks in place. Has you sit the what looks like drawers. You pull it out. It's a chair you sit on, and you sit there, and your thigh goes across, hits the thing, and just go to town.
I got my wife's grandmother's Kenmore with like more attachments than I don't even know what to do with it. I've bought my daughter's sewing machines. I taught them how to sew, and they all got their sewing machine. And I also have a Kenmore and a Singer, but the Singer is problematic all the time. It constantly twists the bobbin up. But that's me.
Yeah. And then my wife will not let me touch the 2 sewing machines I bought for her. The one is a 2-4 hobby lock, and then she has a 4 four spool serger as well.
Oh, wow.
Yes. She actually made, when we got married, I bought these for her before we got married. She made the bridesmaids dresses.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was just happy to make my kids' Halloween costumes for years.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, my brother and I made our own Halloween costumes by the time we were 10. But yeah.
So hand tools, I think would be great for people to do is if you don't have like a hand drill, like a crank hand drill, you can you can find them at garage sales and get one. You never used one before, just get one. Get a couple small drill bits and go take a block of wood off a construction site or in the trash. Just learn how to drill holes. Once you can learn how to steady it and do straight stuff and then get a little handsaw, learn how to cut a piece of wood. You don't have to build something, just play with it and learn how to do stuff with it. Because if there's no electric, no power, whatever, you're kind of resigned to using hand tools, literal hand tools, unless you got solar power to charge batteries for your Craftsman or whatever you got, Makitas.
Yeah, when I was, I'm trying to think how old I was. Okay, so we moved back down to Southern California when I was 8.5. And then we moved. So I was about 10 when we moved the second time down in Southern California onto the house on my grandfather's rental equipment and catering company's property. And that was the first time my dad actually had in the garage here had it set up with all his tools there and stuff. And I had never known what a coping saw was. In fact, I didn't know for years later, but he had one and one of the big arch on it, the little fine thing. And my brother and I played around making stuff on it. We were using it right, but we didn't know that's what actually, we thought we were being sneaky and doing stuff, but that's actually how it was supposed to be made. So we learned on our own how to use the coping saw and several of the other ones. But for do-it-yourselfers, let me see if I can find this thing. Handle. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what it's called. Yes, here we go. Okay. One of these things here, like from Bosch. Here's another one that has all of these. Take the blades, the Sawzall blades. Let me go.
I got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's neat about these is, see if I make this one bigger. Let's get one that show. Trying to get one that actually has a lot of. None of these got good resolution here. That one came out, but so what happens? It locks inside there. This is your regular blades for a reciprocating saw, but you don't want to use it. I had one that I have several blades that are carbide blades for the teeth instead of but it's a carbide bead on there, and it's great for cutting drywall. It's great for cutting ceramics. Where you don't want to have an electric one go and tear it. This one here, that way you can just nice and careful and cut it exactly as you need it to either put something in or to go over an existing light switch, or where you had to replace a single gang light to put in a double gang switches and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have one that my dad had, that my grandfather had. It's called a keyhole saw.
Yeah,
it's a handle with a long tapered tip on it, and the saw blades. So saw blades are different. Reciprocating saws for your Sawzall, they cut on the pull, not on the push. Hand saws cut on the push, not on the pull. Hacksaw blades, same thing. Well, you can spin it around, but they cut on when you push it. So you can't go fast with it. You get saw wobble and that. But a keyhole saw went both directions. It was great for sheetrock. It was even good for lath and plaster. You just drill a little hole, stick it in there, and start going back and forth, and you can rip through anything you want and make your hole, and you can steer it and make circles and squares and triangles and whatever you want. Yeah.
And that's what I like on this picture here is this is the one that you pull on, and then they have some of them that go that you can get blades that cut both ways on it, fine tooth blades cut both ways. But I haven't seen lately, because I bought a bunch of them when I had a chance. When all of a sudden the one store didn't have it, the other one still had it, so I bought a bunch of them. They're made by Milwaukee. They're carbide blades, and so but they you can cut both ways on it. You can actually, once you get in there, you can actually twist it a little bit and make it start to cut around. And so it's really cool. So this is a DIY tool you should have.
So I had my wife pick me up about 5 years ago, stainless steel blades for my Milwaukee, because I bought a ton of beef bones cheap, but they were full length and I needed to cut them up. So I just got my cutting board out. I wrapped my Milwaukee in saran wrap so it wouldn't get food bits all over it and get funky. And I just set up outside on a cutting board and cut my beef bones into pieces and threw them in the oven, roasted them, and then pressure cooked them, then canned my bone broth. But they're stainless and they don't rust or rot. You can't use any other blades you can't use on food. You need to use stainless.
Yeah, because just about every other blade has paint on it.
Yep, exactly. They're red, they're white. Everybody's got their paint color. And after you use it and hit a couple nails or whatever, oh, look at that. It's shiny steel. Yeah, because it's steel. And then you leave it outside a little bit, they get rusty. So stainless steel blade, and you got to order them. You're not going to find them at Lowe's or Home Depot. They just don't have them. Yeah.
So, and for those that don't know what a reciprocating saw is, that's a reciprocating saw. Blade goes in and out like. So, but yeah, there's and so like I have. Speaking of reciprocating saws, I have 2 battery powered ones for my Craftsman, because I got them in 2 different sets. One I bought, and then my wife bought me the big monster Craftsman set with so I got extra circular saws and everything else, all battery powered. And then I also have a one from Harbor Freight, a corded one from Harbor Freight, and I have left in California. I left my Porter cable corded one there for my wife to use.
Yeah, my wife bought me the Milwaukee 100-year anniversary one. Why? I don't know. It works just like every other one. It's instead of having the painted aluminum housing, it's polished aluminum. It's shiny. Great. Yeah. Whatever. I don't care. It's just a saw. I was happy for it. I'm still happy. I still have it and use it. But that thing, it's a beast. I could put the big 12-inch rip blades on there. I've used that to take trees down.
Yeah.
But it's corded, so.
I just saw something here, another little tool everybody here should get here. Let me get here. Let's see if it wants more information, more little detail on it. Okay, so we got a couple of the different ones here. All right, so a compass for you use for different type compasses. Here's one specific for wood crafting. A different one for wood crafting, so you have a point and stuff, and you do your swivel points on it for doing stuff. I was hoping they were going to show the other one. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's sort of like it's like a half moon compass, but it also has a thing on it with a line, So you can set it to so many degrees, and you can do your angle for roof angles and stuff like that, or cabinet angles and or crown molding or anything else like that. But there's one symbol. There you go. So you can set it for the different angles and stuff on it. That's a little bit different than what I was thinking about. But yeah, you got there's a half one there. But yeah, so you got all these different tools and stuff that are going to help you so much. And some of these, the one I was looking for, they had it here. There's a cheap. Well, it was like $7 at Harbor Freight years ago when I got one, and still good, still using it. But something cheap like that can keep from making big mistakes doing on a DIY project. DIY. I always get it backwards. And there are so many good reels and YouTube videos on woodworking crafts projects. Oh man, you can spend days watching some videos and learning how to do stuff for DIY crafts and stuff.
I watched a guy cut he took a table saw and he cut circles with it. I was like, oh my God, I never seen that. So I built myself. It's just I used 3/4 plywood, put a plywood hole in it, put a drill bit in there to hold it up, drilled a hole in the center of a square 2 foot by 2 foot 1/2 inch plywood, took the rip fence off, and you just slowly turn it. And
it works better if you have I forget what it's called, the dado blade.
Oh yeah, if you put a dado blade on there, it's wider. You can do it with a regular one as long as it's a thick one, not one of the new thin ones. But yeah, you can do it. You just have to slowly raise your blade up. You can't just like go all at once. And I was like, wow, I'm making circles out of plywood. Whatever diameter I want, you just cut the put a hole in your piece of wood, and as long as it's clamped down to your table saw to the blade, you're good. I was like, wow, I learned that years ago. I did it once, but I never forgot how to do it. So if I ever have to cut a circle out of a piece of plywood to cover something up, I'm good.
Yeah. Now, CR has a bunch of DIY hacks on his videos on his channel. And it's a lot of them are recycling hacks too. But there is a lot of things. Let's see if I can bring this up here. I'm going to look for something else. I do it. Let's see. I notice it takes a long spelling to get this one. There we go. Let's see if it's going to bring it up here for me. Okay, so they're showing the new ones. Showing some of the old ones there. So, yeah, so they're like, this is the some of the Craftsman ones and stuff. But so I got something similar. That's the impact. That's the one drill. That's the reciprocating saw. That's the jigsaw. That's the funky and vibrating blade thing for cutting molding and stuff around. Got the circular saw. Got the light. Got the disc sander. These are all battery powered. The one I got didn't have that weird tool there, but it had the 1/2 inch drill, the big beefy 1/2 inch drill, and the 3/8 drill in it. So
from Craftsman,
from
Craftsman. The V20.
No, we're talking the 19.2.
19.2, because I have all the V20 stuff.
Yeah,
most of it.
The 19. Oh, and it had the impact. It had the impact. It had the besides having the 3/8 impact on it, it had the impact that takes the 1/4-inch interchangeables on it.
Oh,
that one.
Those are older, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah,
Those
I don't
are
have
back.
that. I got all
Those
the
are 20
V20
years
stuff.
old. Those are 20 years old.
I got all the V20 stuff. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah. My son has all the V20s. When he bought the V20s, he gave me his 19.2s, a couple of the drills and another something else he bought. He gave me those and all the batteries he had bought, and then bought himself the big kit.
Yeah, I got the V20. I got the vacuum.
There we go.
Yeah,
that was one of the kits I got, and my wife, because I had the sander, the triangle corner sander, and it had the fluorescent light. But my wife got me the big one in a big rolling chest, tool chest.
The rolling tote. Yep.
Yeah. So if you're going to do it, if you plan on doing a lot of DIY projects, get a good set of tools. I've started getting besides my Craftsman ones, I've started getting some Ryobis, the 18-volt ones, because Craftsman didn't have the 19.2 with the weed eater, the blower. So I've gotten a few other things in the Ryobis, but which is interesting.
I just picked up the weed eater and the blower. It was on sale at Lowe's. It's the leaf blower and the weed eater. It came with one of them came with a little battery. It's not a V. I'm looking at it right now. It's a V20 battery, but it doesn't have the little button on it to see how much power you got left. But all my other ones are 4-amp batteries. I love those things. But I run the fan. That thing will run all night in my cabin on medium speed, and it'll be almost dead by morning, but it's enough to keep me nice and cool all night long. I love it.
Okay, where did I put it? I'm gonna check tools here. I'm looking something up here for you guys. Okay. Yeah. So for my Ryobi, I got an off-brand one here, but the amp hours on this one is So this is a 6.5 amp hours, or 6,500 milliamp hours. So it's bigger than anything that Ryobi makes. And then I found I've been debating whether to add it to my wish list or not. They got a 2-pack of 9 amp hour batteries.
Nice. It always cracked me up at Lowe's. I'd go in there. I'm always in Lowe's, and I walk by and one 4-amp battery is like $90, and then they have a special for 2 4-amp batteries and a charger for $79. I'm like, well, I don't need another charger. I already got 4 of them, but I'll take the batteries. So I'll buy one of those if I got the money, and I'll throw that in the box. I have one of the short Craftsman stackable boxes, nothing but batteries.
Yeah.
And because I got all my tools, and I can't stand sitting around waiting for a battery to charge. So as soon as one goes down, it goes on a charger on the solar generator, and I still got 12 more batteries to go. So I don't have to stop.
Yeah. I had, when I first got the 19.2, the batteries weren't lithium. They were not the NiCad, the metal hydroxide, blah, blah, whatever ones. And the charger came with it, could charge those and the NiCads.
Right.
And then when she got me the last one, the last tools set she got me, they'd gone to the lithium, and the charger that came with it charges all 3. Well, that Christmas, she got me one that could mount on the wall or could lay on the table. It had a 4-port charger. So you put 4 batteries in there, and it starts on one, it goes right around and gets them charged. Doesn't try to charge them all at once, but it does works on one, automatically goes to the next one. So you plug them in all at night. Next morning, they're all charged. And so I got that here. I got 2 of the single chargers still in California. I got another one on the other side of the green screen here in my office, and I got another one out in the shop on the table that I have all the Ryobi chargers on too. I got a Craftsman one over there as well. So I got charge. Can't have too many chargers.
No. CR just said, nickel metal hydride. That's the newer-ish battery.
Yeah. So I don't know if I pulled that down up. That's the 6.5. They also have. Let's see if I can do this here. Just to show you, and some of the different things they have here. Actually, I'm going to change that to all. Sometimes they pull up in other things. 9 amp hour. So you got 7 amp hours, seven amp hours. Here's your 2-pack of 9 amp hours for $80, and it's probably I have to put a number in there, but I saw a thing on an ad on Roku some other company was talking about it, and we were kind of saying, well, Ryobi one has this. Well, we make for Ryobi. I need 11. I can't find the 11 amp hour one yet. That's the one I want to put on the get an 11 amp hour and put it on the weed eater. Yeah, that's it. Nickel metal hydroxide. And of course, Tammy's doing canning, DIY canning tips in the side chat, which is cool.
Yep. Yeah. I'm reading that going, okay, it's a canning video now.
Diana, too, she has 3 books on Amazon. Shoot, while I'm on Amazon, might as well just bring that up for them. Here's one of them popped up. Relish Life, 1 jar at a time. And then it's let me go in here and see if I get to bring up the other ones. Okay. It's not showing the other one. That's the file one. It's not showing the dark side one. But I've seen it on there. Oh, she has 4 on there. 4. Oh, that's why it came up as Kindle. Let me do all departments. Come on. Huh. Interesting. It's just showing the 2. It's not showing the it's showing the Relish one life and the Rebel Canner's recipe files. Let me try this then. And it keeps trying to go to the Kindle store. I don't want the Kindle store. Let's try this. There we go. So you got the this one. You got this one. You got this one, and it's throwing some others in there. Yeah. you can go to you can email Tammy at Rebel Canners, and she can actually probably give you the links and stuff too on them. Oh, I see. Projects. Okay. All right. Speaking of canning and stuff for Christmas and stuff, if you're you make the cookie mixes or whatever mixes in the jar, and you can make the using the Christmas material, whatever materials you put on the top of the jar lids and stuff, you make those. Those are another DIY project. But bookshelves or canning jar shelves. I've only seen one canning jar shelf that they made that actually was smart. And for my thing is, they had across the front of it, they had two wood screws going in with threaded 1/4-inch screws on the outside on it. So they put wing nuts on there. They have put like a 1x4 across there to keep the jars from bouncing off. But you just unscrew it, loosen up a little bit, and it lifts off and drops. So you pull your jars out and move the jars around. You put it back up, and it keeps the jars from bouncing off the shelf. If you're in an earthquake, got train tracks nearby where everything vibrates as the train goes by. Hurricanes, tornadoes that shake and rattle the house and stuff like that.
Like a little safety bar on a roller coaster.
Yeah. So, but it's on the front of the shelves to keep it from the stuff from bouncing around and coming off. Oh, all right. Yeah, there are 101 DIY projects for everyday stuff. DIY projects for the garden from the automotive section. I got a bunch of tires here and rims, and we were talking about maybe using the tires for when we first bought the property across the street for like a raised planter bed, put flowers and stuff in. And then we touched them. No, these things are breaking down. These are nasty. We need to get rid of them. And it looks like Lewis is trying to come in. Let's see. There he is.
What's up, Lewis?
Well, anyways, the rims from a tire rim, if it's got a little ding in it, bent in or whatever. Well, you get your angle grinder, or you get the metal cutting blade for a circular saw, and you cut that rim in half. So basically, got a half moon here, two of them, and then you can mount it to a fence. Use some long lag bolts to mount it to the fence to wrap your garden hose up on. If you get hold of a bent truck rim, it makes a great fire pit. A lot of things you can do on it.
I picked up a bunch for free, a bunch of the 22-inch rims. One of my customers is a truck stop, and I just talked to him and said, "Hey, you ever get on?" And I said, "Save me a couple." So he did. And yeah, they're great. I got one at my cabin and gave one to my buddy. And yeah, they're awesome because these are the big rims. And don't use aluminum. Use the steel ones. They will never, ever rot away. They'll get some surface rust, but campgrounds use them. If you go to a campground, they get split rims, regular rims, and they have a vent hole in the bottom, which is great. So you don't have to worry about, air getting in there to keep your fire going. Yeah. But when I was doing my video feed from my cabin, that's my fire. That's my rim. I just put rocks around it, put some gravel in the bottom, and it's great.
Well, here's something else too that we did. I've been meaning to do it, and my son has been meaning to do it, but we both do busy and stuff, do things else. When I was in high school, for a metal shop, they had little 2-foot by 3-foot little tables for each person, to weld at and stuff. What it was is they took the rim off of a 1-ton with a Chevy or Ford or Dodge, put it so the holes were up, laid a piece a steel plate over it, welded it on it, and welded a 4-inch piece of pipe coming up, and then made a table above that and put the ceramic bricks in it for fire bricks in there for everyone to weld on. And my son and I have been talking about when we actually get something set up where we can actually weld here, setting some of those up so that we can have projects to sit down and do welding on delicate stuff like you're sitting at a desk or whatever, but make them all the same height so you can move them around. If you need doing a big project, just lay it on top of each of them, and you got something set up like that.
Yeah, we use the 19.5-inch truck rim with an axle. Flip it over, bolt the axle to it, and then weld your steel plate on top of that. And we had our bench grinder was mounted to that. Yeah, you could push it over if you wanted to, but
yeah,
it was heavy, and it's an axle. It's literally bolted on with lug nuts. It was great.
Yeah. So and then, but as far as other things, watering the garden, you can spend a lot of money with all the drip system stuff. Let's see if I can find this other stuff here while I'm thinking about this one here. So if I can get this one up. I go look up. Basically, take a piece of 1/2-inch PVC or 3/4 inch, and you run 3/4 inch, and as you get that farther along, you reduce it down to the 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here it goes. Here we go. Right here. You see this first one here? It's got threads on it, and those are machine threads. So you go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Harbor Freight. You can get the little tap and die set, and it'll thread for those. And they make just about all these different ones that are threaded as well. See if I can find it here.
Funny you talking about that. I went to Drip Works and bought a whole bunch of 1/2 gallon hour drip heads. I have all the tubing I could there, and I'm brought it home tonight, and I'm gonna probably run my drip system tomorrow for my garden.
All right,
because I'm sick of going up there and trying to under the leaves.
And so they got like this one right here that's just for sale, but they got the misters built into it. They got other ones there. Let's see here. They also have the bubble heads, but here we go. Different flows for it. So these are you go into the soft plastic pipe or into, because they got threads in it. If you tap the PVC, you can put it into the PVC as well. And that way, if you got raised bed, you can hang it up. If it's on PVC, you can hang it up where it's a little more rigid than something like this. Misters in different volumes. So
yeah, it depends on how much money you want to spend, and if you want to do it yourself and make something yourself.
Yeah, once I get I'm trying to replace all the low IBC tote planter beds out here on my retaining wall. Try to make them all the tall ones. Once I have the whole thing in tall ones, then I will run some a couple of lines of PVC from down it, where I can go in and just screw in the drippers. Now some of the drippers too, they have that you can screw in. You can actually add that 1/4 inch tubing onto the end of it and run it wherever you want. So that way you just, put it in there. And some of them, the old ones that were actually by Drip Mist, you had it where you could turn it from from 3 gallon to 1.5 gallon to off. Those were the good ones. And I got all my mom's ones of that, boxes and boxes of those. So we'll be using those.
Yeah, it's all about getting creative, and if you know how to do things, you can do whatever you want with whatever you can find, and not spend a lot of money, which I'm all about, not spending a lot of money on stuff.
Yeah. Thrift shops. You find tools like below me here on the thing, all the different types of screwdrivers, whether it's flathead, Phillips, Torx, square ones on it, different types of dikes, lineman pliers, channel locks, adjustables. You can probably find a bunch of those around, also at estate sales too. So you can pick up your tools.
Here's a fun tip. You find a pair of pliers, channel locks, side cutters, dikes, whatever you want to call them, and they're at a garage sale and they're frozen. You can barely move them. You can get them cheap. Take it home, throw it in a bucket of water. Literally, water is the best lubricant. It'll rust it if you leave it in there forever. Get it in there, work them loose, get them out, get them hot, and just load them up with some WD-40 or whatever oil you got laying around, and you got a nice pair of pliers. You can always sand them down or wire wheel it to make them shiny. But I've bought more pairs of pliers and channel locks and things that were like locked up because of rust, as long as it's not too bad. And so more, not oil or anything like that, the lubricants and all the penetrating oils. You can do that. Soak it in water, work loose that way. That'll break the rust loose. Then you lubricate them up and heat them up so they dry the water out of it. And you can get lots of tools really cheap at garage sales and thrift shops that are seized, sort of. As long as you can move it a little bit. If you can move it a little bit, you're going to move it a lot of it.
Okay, hang on. I'm bringing up an image of something here for you guys. Here we go. This is I actually saw. I've loved CRC for a long time, but this one hadn't seen. This is like your liquid wrench on steroids. This is for breaking loose the rusted, and if it has, they said even it has Loctite on it, it'll dissolve the Loctite too.
Cool.
So if you have tools and stuff like the crescent wrenches that are all rusted up, this is the stuff to put on it to do it. So they got CRC knock loose, CRC knock loose plus in two different styles, penetrating solvents and stuff. So, but the CRC is, oh man, that stuff is great. My dad used to keep a can of the CRC electronic contact cleaner in his first aid box. The reason why, if you're working with a lathe and welding stuff, you get burned. You spray that on it, and it's instant. Not freezing, but really takes the heat away really fast. Better than putting your hand on ice or whatever. It just takes it away really quick and doesn't leave a residue on it because it's a contact cleaner.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of chemicals you want to absorb into your body too.
Yeah, but it was the CRC electronic contact cleaner. That's what he used to keep in there. All right,
yeah, when you find, she found files.
Yeah,
yep. You find files. You need all you need is a brass wheel, a brass like wire brush. You can clean them off. Usually, people throw them out because they're all clogged up with steel and iron, and they don't do anything anymore. So get a wire brush. The other thing you do, I hate to say it, soak it in boiling water and then wire brush it, and then just oil it so it doesn't get rusty. And you don't need to buy some, the newest, latest, greatest $18 a can file resolve, whatever. Bring your file back to life and spend your money and buy our stuff. Yeah. Just soak it in hot water and then brush it off with a wire brush and dry it off and lubricate it up so it doesn't.
And I have seen several files. I saw a couple of guys throw files away when I worked at a construction company. Some of the mechanics throw files away because they were filing aluminum on it, and aluminum packs up a file.
Yeah.
And they go and they threw it away, took pictures of it, bought a new one, and they did a expensed it out for it. But once they threw it away, hey, those went home with me, because aluminum expands different than metal does when it gets heated.
Yep. And if you're into blacksmithing, files are great for making knives. If you want to do blacksmithing, high carbon steel.
Well, files are great also for woodworking.
Yep.
You're making something, and you like a bowl, and you really want, before you start taking the sander to it, you file the edges around. Or you're making something like a grip tool out of wood. Files, excellent for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, for your
rust off, the oil will keep it from rusting.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you need to get your tools for your DIY projects, and anything you can think about, like, there's got to be a better way to do this. Hello, YouTube, search for it. Yes, Instagram is a bunch of people putting stuff up on Instagram of how to do things as well. Rebelling against YouTube, and they're going over to Instagram. And I'm not sure what other platforms people are putting how-to videos on as well. So, I just thought, the other one, that one that'll import all your videos from YouTube over onto it. Trying to remember the platform. It's a video posting platform. Shoot. Got it right on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember it. Hang on here.
For doing what? You froze a bunch of times. For doing what?
There's another video program for putting videos on. In fact, I have mine automatically set up, so all my YouTube ones, like, as soon as this live is done, it loads it over onto the other one. Every now and then I get people watching on the other one. I'm trying to remember
Rumble. You got Rumble.
Rumble. That's it. Rumble.
A bunch of
yeah. And
you froze.
Yeah, it was Rumble.
I didn't know you were on Rumble. That's funny.
Yeah. So Gray Man's not on Rumble, but Camppatton is. I need to go ahead and put Gray Man over there too.
I'll have to follow you there too, because I'm on Rumble.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at the time here. We started going on. Yeah. So anything that's that you want to do, do it yourself solutions. There are a ton of them. Oh, what I was doing today for weed killing. People talk about, you get the 5% vinegar, and you put 5%, you fill up the thing, the gallon jug sprayer, or so you put vinegar in there. Then you put a cup or half a cup of salt in there, and you put a teaspoon or tablespoon of Dawn soap in there, and it's great for I've learned 5% vinegar don't do squat to 99.9% of the weeds, and it hardly ever bothers the ants at all.
No, but that other stuff
he got some 30% vinegar at Lowe's. I get the 45% gallon jugs, and then I add a half gallon to it. So I got a gallon and a half of 30% by the time I'm done with it. And I go out there and I spray stuff. And it star thistle kills it friggin' dead in 6 hours. You can see it going.
Oh, that's a good freeze.
Brown and dying. It'll kill the stuff we call pigweed. I'm actually gonna have to get a picture of it, and show you guys so you can find exactly what it is called. But there's two different types here. I spray it on it, kills it, gone. The sandbur vine kills it, and it's gone. Morning glory, it'll kill it off. If you just spray it, it'll kill it off, and then a couple weeks later, it'll start coming back. But like I did out front here, I just kind of dug down a little bit. So I dug down about that much around it, and I just poured it on it, and let it go into there. Nothing's come back for about 4 weeks on that one. I did that one too.
Yeah, I didn't spray the tops of the weeds or anything. I spray at the base.
Yes.
And it gets right to the dirt and goes down the stem, and it killed pretty much everything. I have to go back out and do it again because that was like a month ago now. I got other ones popping up, but yeah.
For ants,
vinegar,
Diana,
great. For
ants, you can dilute it down for like of the 45%. You can dilute it down to one part of the 45% with one and a half of the of water. So it goes 20, 30, 22 and a half. So it takes it down to about 17% vinegar. It'll you just pour it on there, and it'll kill the nests. And if you want to mix a little bit of Dawn dish soap in there, put it on there, that helps it work that much better.
So no, everybody tries to ask, why do you put soap in there? I have their answer. So if you notice, if you spray water, if you just drip water on, say, a metal table, it beads up.
Mm-hmm.
Soap in there, it's now dictated as what you would call a wetting agent. It makes the water not bead.
It breaks up the water surface
instead of running off. When you add a little bit, it kills the surface tension. So if you put a little Dawn soap or any kind of liquid soap in there, it makes it stick to everything, and you don't need a lot, just a little bit. So because if you just take vinegar and spray it on stuff and on a leaf, on a weed, it beads up. But if you put a little Dawn in there, or
the 45% don't bead up. The 45% don't bead up. It starts eating away at it immediately.
Right, but as soon as you put a little Dawn in there, it helps it spread out even better.
Yeah. But yeah, but you don't want to put a lot. You don't want to put a lot of Dawn in there, especially if you're using a sprayer, because when you're spraying, it's all you get these little bubbles start floating away. No, get off, stop. Yeah, you want just enough to, or does it'll do that, but not enough where it'll, as you're spraying, you're making bubbles, and the bubbles start floating away from what you want to kill and landing on your garden, or your lawn, or your flower beds.
Yeah.
All right, so coming up here tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping, the topic is personal safety when alone, and we're talking. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff here. I found some scary stuff that everybody needs to know about, especially women. You need to know about the stuff I'm going to be talking about tomorrow on it. But we're talking about if you're in parking lots, in hotels and stuff, going up and down at night in the elevators or whatever, talking about public spaces, but you're out there you don't have friends with you, you're by yourself, things to keep on that. Hey Serena, how's it going? All right, so that's on tomorrow night, 8:00 Eastern on Gray Man Prepping. Monday, back here on Camppatton Family Compound, we're going to be talking about high acid canning, or canning foods that are high in acid, tomatoes,
pickles,
and things like that, things that are high acid. And so we're going to be continuing a little bit about the science of canning with that tomorrow, Monday. Tuesday on Great Man Prepping for Tactical Tuesday. Right now, I'm probably going to change the title of it from Fish Mocks just to your stockpiling your medications, because I don't want to get by the platform, which is I saw them take down someone else's that was titled Fish Mocks, so I'm going to change the name of it from Fish Mocks just so you're talking about we're going to talk about all your dry medications, which is like your Fish Mocks, your ibuprofens, your Claritin, all those type things. And then we'll talk about that, and then we'll go to some of the wet stuff like Sorbine Junior and some of the other stuff you need to have. And of course, we'll be talking about alcohol in your first aid kit as well. All right. Tuesday. So, and then Thursday is the midnight ride with Gray Man Prepping. So that's what's coming up for this next week.
Are we back to 10 o'clock for that?
We will be, that will be 10 o'clock Eastern. Yes. Yeah. It's only the second Thursday of the month that we have the city council meeting that they have suddenly gotten long-winded and want to run over. They used to, when I first started recording them, the city council meetings were, oh, wow, we went 35 minutes. That was a long city council meeting. Now it's an hour and 35 minutes.
Yeah, now more are getting involved and want to talk about stuff. So, yeah, now you have to do your job. Imagine that.
Well, yeah, it's more along the lines of the city clerk, putting out more information and trying to protect her butt from everybody just, pencil whipping it. So, all right. So that's what's coming up. I hope everybody got ideas. Oh, where did I get that vinegar? Okay. Amazon, but let me show it to you here. All right. So Amazon, I'm going to go through my past orders here. I'm going to whip down. Oh, my toothbrushes, my bamboo charcoal and regular toothbrushes came today. Well, where is it? Yeah, you can see all the fun stuff I got. There it is. Here we go. So this is the cheapest to get it. I've done it twice now. So you get 8 gallons of 45%. It comes in two boxes, 4 gallons per box, but it's cheaper than buying. You do it as the 8 rather than the 4. It works. It's cheaper. And so it's 140 for the 8 gallons. And that works out. Let me get the calculator up here. That works out to, come on, there we go. So that's, so 140 divided by 8 works out to $17.50 a gallon. A gallon of weed killer is running like $30-something a gallon to $50-something a gallon, depending on the weed killer. And this is natural stuff. This is organic. So anyways, that's what I get. So here is the link for it. I'm not an Amazon affiliate, so I do not get anything on this. Everybody keeps telling me I should. I don't want to hassle with it.
The 35% at Lowe's.
Yeah. Yeah, the 30.
Yeah, Lowe's has a 35%, which works fine if you just mix it 1-to-1 and you're good to go.
Yeah. So I mean, so if you want to knock this down to 17%, you do 1 gallon of this to 2 gallons of water. So if you have, so you can do, it works that way too. You just figure out, you just calculate it. Basically, 9 gallons of water to 1 gallon of this vinegar is what you buy. What you get at Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco. That's the 5%.
Is that for canning, people?
Not for canning.
That's not food
cleaning.
grade. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you spray that stuff, you better be upwind, because when you get a nose full of it, it's like somebody dumped a gallon of vinegar up your nose. It is brutal. It's brutal because it is so strong. If you're worried about it, they have it Harbor Freight, Home Depot, Lowe's. They have the half face respirators to cover the nose and mouth with the organics cartridge. Not the paper mask, because it didn't work for the Red Dragon either. It ain't going to work for this stuff either. You want to get the one for the organics, and it'll take it out. But I go out there. Okay, which way is the wind blowing? Wind's blowing that way. I'm going to start down there and work my way back. So, yeah.
Oh, Serena. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Was the nozzle on, or you
Well,
had?
look and see how low the water level went. Look in the barrel, and
It's
if
empty.
it's a
It's
leak,
empty. It's empty.
totally empty, there might be a crack in the bottom.
No, things. Yeah. If all right, if it's above the where the water level to come out, if it's like if that the spigot is like an inch or two up, and you still have an inch or two of water in there, then it's probably not a leak of the barrel. It's probably the hose was left on, somebody turned it on, whatever.
Yeah, if it's totally empty, bone dry, you might want to look at the bottom of that thing. There might be a crack in it.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much.
All righty, everyone. So take care, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow over on Grayman Prepping at 8 o'clock Eastern. Take care, everyone.
Have a good night.